Hey YouTube, so if you saw my live stream, you know this is the team that Guzzlord saved 200 my ELO. This one saved the other 200. I was up to 2900 before I started seeing hard counters. So I eventually lost this team. But Drapion, Drifblim, azumarill. It's very similar to one of the top teams I put up before of Drapion, Corsola, azumarill. This one I think just gives you a little more cover. I don't even know if it really provides you that much more coverage. A little more coverage with grass, but you don't super need the coverage with grass. So you can use Corsola as well instead of Drifblim, but very strong team. I often found that because you're double weak to electric than grass, so using Corsola actually minimizes that double electric weakness. But I found that if you fight for switch here on the lead, more often than not, you will have a good alignment in the back just because Drifblim's weak to dark, azumarill covers dark, azumarill weak to grass, Drifblim covers grass. Here, let's see what I do here, because I can for sure farm up a little bit because claws are resisted and then catch on the azumarill. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Just getting ahead on energy there, taking the resisted claws and absorbing the hydro cannon on azumarill. It's basically Ice Beam range. Ice Beam is resisted, but they're in the yellow and they're a shadow, so if this doesn't take out, it's going to leave it with like 1 HP. So throwing the Ice Beam, a couple HP, which they get 1 more Hydro, so that's unfortunate, but that's okay. And now their Drapion comes back in, so I'm trying to snipe here with all that extra energy I got. They do shield, and they're out of move. I have 2 shields. I'm probably going to burn 1. Yeah, I really don't want my Drifblim to see this, so if I could... this is tricky. Now I think I'll let go. Yeah, that makes sense. You gotta kind of, if you're gonna use Shadow Driftblim especially, you gotta save the shields. And just getting ahead on energy here. Is this the non-shadow first? Yeah. So I used the non-shadow first, and then I actually built up a shadow. So you're gonna see that eventually. I really like the Shadow Driftblim. Just, if you're gonna be glassy already, Driftblim's already pretty glassy. If you're gonna be glassy, you might as well be hard hitting with that Shadow Astonish, right? So do take this out. This is basically a mirror match team. Drifblim's in the back instead of azumarill, it's for alligator. And so this is a very common team. Again, I've already put this out as a top team with Corsola instead of Drifblim. So anyways, tough lead. So you have 2 options here as safe swaps. I've used both as safe swaps, and both unfortunately can be punished. So this one, they're just staying in here. They're probably going to throw an earth power to chip me. So I'm going to shield. Again, I don't love doing that in case... I always say don't do that because if you're going to get punished in the mid-game anyways, don't do that. But, you know, Earth Power hurts so much. I think it is worth that shield there. Because now I can maybe flip, and that would be helpful. That'd be very helpful, actually. It's almost a must at this point. So getting to the play rough. Azumarill is just so slow. I hate using Azumarill for that reason. 15 and 18 for these moves here. So gonna get off a play rough. I'm honestly hoping they let go. And I do get to an Ice Beam. So I'll take this out or grab at least 1 shield, which is kind of what I want. But I do flip switch, and that's okay, right? That's almost even better than grabbing a shield, because I probably would have fought to flip switch here because Drapion sucks against this, and Drifblim is such a hard answer. And out comes the Talonflame. Because they let me get ahead on energy, I am just going to chip this with the Icy Wind Astonish. Get out. I assume basically just sacrifice the Drapion here. And then just run with Drifblim would be my guess. Is how I should play this. There, look at me. Brave Bird lands. That's fine. I'll take this out. They're probably going to shield to try and get off another move. That makes sense. Because they're going to get to another move. But these Astonishes are really going to add up, especially after a Brave Bird. So I will definitely respect the move here. I think they go Brave Bird again, yeah, which means now they're 4 times lowered. Tried to snipe. Well, let's see if water. The amount of things that are running. Okay, this one's not. Yeah, we already saw the Earth Power. The amount of Gastrodon I've now seen running Water Pulse is way higher than I expected. And I don't know if it's just because there's so many like Drifblims and stuff now that you need an answer with Water Pulse. But yeah, I saw quite a few with Water Pulse. but managed to take that. Okay. Again, kind of a weird lead. So I am getting out here, and I am punished by Bastiodon. Okay, so there's two things here. Yeah, there's two things here. One, Bastiodon's tough for the back line because I have super effective bubbles but resisted Ice Beam Play Rough. However, that's not what I want to talk about. I always say do not go into your hardest answer on the lead here. So we had a fighter and I went into a fairy. So obviously they're going to have an answer for that. Why did I do that? If they're going to have an answer for fairy and I've got a bad matchup on the lead, like Drapion against Annihilape is not a good matchup because they can just out Rage Fist and counter you, then you run the risk of losing switch, probably losing switch anyways, and getting yourself into a situation where you're going to get hard countered in the back anyways. So that's the reason. Plus, I'm weak to electric, so if I'm going to see an electric, I might as well see it in there. And it is a wiggly, right? So essentially hard countered here. Drapion's going to lose to Annihilape, Ghost being double resisted here by the normal Wiggly, and then a Bastiodon taking out my Azumarill. So there's nothing I can really do here to get out of this matchup. They're smartly just letting it go, knowing that they can just win con their ground here. Or sorry, win con Annihilape. Because Annihilape should just be able to just Rage Fist boost his way through in the two shields here. So I got a bunch of energy, which is nice. I missed a bunch of bubbles. Doesn't matter. They're going to shield anyways, knowing they can just Rage Fist. And I know that. They know that. They're probably just going to not even throw a move and just commit to the counter down here. And they call the bluff of the Aqua Tail instead of the Crunch. Had I landed the Crunch, maybe I would have won this matchup, but they did not let that go. So I put Drapion. Yeah, I guess, sorry. I think 90% of the time, yeah. So what happened was, if you saw my live stream, it was a lot of neutral matchups, like 6 or 7 mirror matchups, and a bunch of just normal. So I went from 2700 to 2900. Then I played with it the next day, and it was straight ground. It was like 3 or 4 Marowak leads, Gastrodon lead, Annihilape lead. So just I was getting killed on the lead. So I'm like, okay, let's go Drifblim. And then when I switched to Drifblim, I got like 3 Dugongs in a row. So the algorithm's like, you won too much with this team. Time to knock you back down a little bit here. So that is why you're seeing Drifblim on the lead here. I only used it a couple times, then I went back to Drapion, and then I switched the team. Unfortunately for me, 2900 again. That's the second time in 2900 range. You know what? This is actually not bad because I can just double shield this and they'll be down to 1 Pokemon. I don't even need to double shield. They're down to 1 Pokemon. It is a superior and I am a Drifblim and I'm going to lower its attack twice now and have an Ice Beam coming out. So it's pretty good here. Does not take out because my attack is lowered. Make a catch here? No, not quite. Frenzy does land, which is a lot of damage. I'm surprised I didn't shield. I'm assuming I could just astonish Drifblim for the win here. And they try to like get ahead on energy. But that's not going to happen. So yeah, this is what I started seeing a lot of when I started filming myself. So Gastrodon lead, going to Corsola. Azumarill does have a good matchup against Corsola. No, sorry. Corsola has a better matchup against Azumarill than the other way around. So I lost lead, and right now, all things even, in the one shield, they can take me. However, I shielded early because I need to try and flip switch here. So I don't think I'll double shield yet, but depending on this, if this lands or not, I could see myself double shielding and trying to take switch here. So there's 1 shield back. Can I get to a move? I can get to move. Okay, not much I can do here. Because even if I shield, they're going to just shield right back and just take me out. So there's no point. Getting ahead on just going through the Octail, and then I'll have to instant swap to Drifblim and hope Drifblim can sweep in the back. What's in the back? Instant swap here. In the back is Talonflame, and I'm already ahead by a couple Astonishes. So that is pretty big here. Because the Astonishes as a shadow really add up, as you can see, like already in the yellow. Going to commit the shield. It is just a fly. I get to another move. We'll take this out. And now, as long as they don't have Water Pulse, I should be able to live any move this throws at me, Body Slam, and Ground. And if I can just get to the move here, then Drapion can take the rest. And it's a Water Pulse. See, this is what I'm saying. I swear I saw like, I thought one was an anomaly, but then I saw like 4 or 5, and I was just like, did a content creator put this out? Like, what happened here that I'm starting to see so many Water Pulse Gastrodons here? I don't know. Again, Ground, Marowak, right? These are all the ones that I filmed myself. So going in here, with Corsola, they're staying in. I'll respect the Rock Slide for sure. But if they're staying in this long, they obviously don't have an amazing answer right away. Drapion's a pretty good answer. Poison is resisted, but it's a pretty good answer with the crunches. I may shield and lower their attack one more time to see if I can live. Yeah, I'm not surprised. 1, because I'm going to get a shield right back here. 2, if I lower their attack for the second time, maybe I live. So we'll see. Or I'm just going to try and keep this alive, knowing that it's a good alignment in the back perhaps, or on the Marowak, or because I've already chipped the Marowak, it's now an Aquatail range. So I'm gonna get the first Aquatail off here, grabs the shield. They eventually just straight take me out. I wouldn't be surprised if I get ahead on energy on a Azumarill here though instead. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to figure out what to do here. I think I'm gonna get ahead on Azumarill energy. I'm also burning the switch clock. That is good practice there. Just going for the farm down. I can take energy, and it's their own Azumarill in the back, so they got 1 through, but I'm probably going to instant swap Drifblim to try and get to the Shadow Ball. Yeah, and we'll get it to it at the exact same time, both on 5 here, which means this landing is going to be huge for me because I'm going to be taken out here. Take it to the deep red, maybe even bubble range down, which would give me energy for the back end games here. I can live 1. I don't know if I can actually bubble down. No. I was about to say, Azumarill's so freaking tanky. I don't really want to play that game of taking a play rough here. So I'm going to just throw that, knowing that they're pretty much down to a couple HP on both Pokemon, I believe. Yeah, I bubble down Drapion before they get to a move. And I bubble down Marowak before they can do anything there. Marowak. Yep. And Dunsparce. Yep. Truly just hard cat, like, just, it's one of those things. Sorry, someone's just I'm filming this a couple days in advance, and I'm just waiting for the news, and someone messaged me, so I was like, is the news drop? But no. Okay. So it's one of two it's one of two things that just happened here, because again, you just saw 3 ground Pokemon into my Drapion. So I ran in on the stream 2700, 2900, playing great with just neutral leads. I wasn't even winning leads. They were just straight up like mirror matches and neutral matchups. And then the next day I get hit with like 5 grounds in a row. And then I switch the team and I get hit with a bunch of dugongs on the lead. So this is why people are funny because there are two arguments here, and whatever your beliefs are on the algorithm will align with whatever one I'm going to say here. Number one, a bunch of people saw the stream, plus a bunch of people know the team anyways with Drapion, so they are now running ground Pokemon. So it's not the algorithm, it's that people knew this team and started countering it on the lead with ground Pokemon because this team started showing up everywhere. I already had the Drapion Azumarill Crissola team, so with this team started showing up a bunch. I've already talked about in my I Suck video, the meta is adjusting extremely fast this season. And this is what the problem I'm having, why I haven't hit Legend, and I may not hit Legend, but that's okay. But this is a part of the problem I'm having this season is I could always find a team in the past where I can just go like 1 to 2 weeks grinding it. That's not the case anymore. You get a good team for 2 days and the hard counters start. And I think people are adjusting very quick in this meta. That's the first one. The second one is you just believe in algorithm. I ran from 2,500 to 2,900 essentially with 2 teams in 3 days. And so the algorithm put in a bunch of ground leads, and then when I switched to drifblim, they put a bunch of ice leads on, right? That is now like justified thinking from that perspective, having just seen what happened there. I don't know what the real answer is. I don't know if it's somewhere in between. Like the meta, again, I can for sure speak to the meta is adjusting at a crazy rate. You cannot really go longer than like 2 games, especially with all the content creator teams and how smart people are now. You can't really go more than like two days with a team before it seems like people are countering it. I'm playing like a dumb game, which is very bot heavy and very they tried to catch and which is very bot heavy and very algorithm heavy. And other games and stuff like that, it's kind of known that they try to keep you at like a 50% win rate. And there's 2 arguments. I can't believe this is like a sort of algorithm video now. There's 2 arguments, right? Argument number 1 is there's an algorithm truly reading your team and aligning harder answers to you so you don't win. The other argument is you are now just playing better people, so the higher in the ranks you go, the more likely you will just face tougher opponents and they are more likely to beat you. So that's one of the algorithm like arguments, is that it's not an algorithm, it's like an ELO rating system that is now just pairing you with harder people, and you are yourself seeing some hard counters, but it's so in your mind about the algorithm that those are standing out more, even though you're just facing harder competition. So I don't know. So those are the arguments for that. Anyways, all that to say, got to 2,900 for the second time. As you saw, a crap ton of ground leads, and ended up dropping to like 2850, 2830, and then I switched up the team and I've dropped to like 2,700 again. I think I'm at like 2,750 now. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I hit Legend. If not, it's fine. In fact, I've now gone to Kanto Ninetales. Even though Kanto Ninetales sucks in this meta, there's a million ground, there's a million water, and I'm just using it because I'm just like, if I'm not going to hit Legend, I might want to have fun with the Pokemon that I actually like using. So you're going to see Kanto Ninetale teams coming up sometime before the end of the season. So do get to the Ice Beam here. We'll take out this Dugong. Toxpex left and manage to take this out here. Okay, so that is it. Don't know when this is going up because I assume by now the news has dropped and we're going to have to shuffle some videos around. But that is it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.